Welcome back to another day in the market. We are going to cover some of our trade alerts because in another red day, some of our trades were green. Some of our long trades were green. And that just shows the true power of this setup. So if you really like value and you're seeing value in our call outs and our trade setups, and you just like the videos, hit the like button. It is the easiest way to help out the channel. So we're going to start with the S&P 500 real quick as usual. Then we're going to get into some quick trade call outs. And then we're going to end with Apple, who just reported earnings, and there is a surprise on the after hour activity with the price action. So definitely stick around for that. So we're starting with the S&P 500 on the monthly to see where we're at, because if you take a look right here, we have had 5 solid months of green. And we, so far, now it is the beginning of the month, so this is far from the close of August. So far, we are red, and we were red today. We were down 0.29%, but we are above these moving averages. We're above the market bias indicator. We have the MACD crossing above the signal line, which is bullish, and that's why you see the green histogram there. And then just real quick, we were using the simple moving average as a resistance. And since that really nice rally a few months ago, we started using it as a support, I guess. More so, we were really just up over it. We have not tested it yet. So that's why if you go down into the smaller time frames, even just on the weekly, you'll be able to see what I'm referring to. We haven't had a breather since, and you can see this week so far has been pretty down. All of those tech stocks that were really just holding the market up are starting to see just some exhaustion on buying. You got to think about it. Eventually people are going to take profits, and eventually people are going to say, wow, this is way too overvalued. I cannot get in right now, right? And that's why we're patiently waiting on the sidelines on some of those big stocks, but playing some of those smaller cap stocks that are not so susceptible to news. They can kind of fly under the radar. But let's get right into ADMA, and we're going to go down to the daily on these here. And you can see that ADMA was up 2.22%. And this was a long call out that we made a couple of days ago. Reason being, this green triangle right here represents a cross of the MACD over the zero line, which signals a bullish entry. And we want to enter those when we are above this market bias indicator, which indicates overall sentiment on the market. And then the RSI just reinforces our belief, because we can watch and see how it's reacting to this moving average. So with that said, let's go down to a time frame that's going to show us after market hours, and you can see a downturn. Now this is low volatility, and I'm not going to do it, but if you go down to like the 20-minute mark, you can see there was a high buy up here and then another down here. So that's why you have that huge volatility there. So we're down after hours, but we were green on the day. And I did sell out of some of these positions here because of where the S&P 500 was heading. So, all right, so next is UIHC. And we're going to get rid of that real quick. All right, so let's go back to the daily for a second. Now, again, this was another long call out that we made right around this time period because of this signal right here. So you can see that the entry signal gave us, let's just say, to be conservative, $4.88. It is currently at $5.45. So that is a pretty significant upturn. And just on today, we hit 6.65% up. Now, again, keep in mind, this is a long call out that we made, and it is showing a up 6.65% while the market overall was down. So that just shows the strength and the power of this setup here. Again, we see the same story though, which is a good reason why we have to remain cautious, because we're starting, you can see in after hours, we're starting to go back down right now. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's do one more on one of our call outs here. We can see Alibaba. Alibaba was another call out that we made because of the same reason as the other stocks, is that we had a buy signal right here yesterday. I believe yesterday we called that up. And actually, no, what we did, now that I remember, is we saw this and we compared it to the other tech stocks on how similar this was. And then you got that above the zero line here. And what happened is actually exactly what we said was going to happen, was that this is going to continue up, and then you would start to see a green turn on the market bias indicator. So that's really interesting. And again, Alibaba is up 2.61% on a day that the market is green. And that was a long call out that we made. Once again, just showing a true testament of this setup and how great it can really be. So let's get into some of the big guys. So let's go to Nvda real quick. Nvda was barely up on the day. It was 0.56%. If you go to the after hours, you're going to see that we're trending in the down direction, just like all of the other stocks. One thing I want to point out, though, if we just go back to the daily real quick, is we have right here a bearish divergence on the MACD. Let's pull that trend line up right here. So we've got exhaustion. Oh, we already drew that. Well, we'll draw it again. We have bearish divergence on the MACD. So we have some exhaustion on the MACD. And if you want to go short, you really want to see this below the zero line. So you have that divergence. So you have, an exhaustion of the MACD as the price is continuing to rise. And that shows a potential change in reversal. Divergences are very, very important in being able to decide whether or not it's a good idea to enter a trade or not. So that is Nvda. We will do, let's continue with, let's do Bitcoin, because we followed that yesterday. And with Bitcoin on the daily, we said that it was following this trend, this market bias indicator very well, and just bouncing off of it. And we said that, obviously this can go straight through, but if you see a bounce off of the market bias indicator, that is a good indication to go long. And we were starting to kind of see just a continuation of this overall pattern where it was up, bounce, up, come back down, bounce, up, come back down. And we're on that come down phase. With the MACD, we are now below that zero line. So as far as that is concerned, we're trending a little bit more down to the bearish sentiment. Obviously, that can quickly change, as you can see right there. And now let's take a look at Apple. So Apple reported earnings. Apple was down 0.73%. I do believe they reported after hours. And you can see that they were a surprise of 5.24%. And then as far as revenue, they were looks like basically a surprise of flat. Yeah, they're estimated 81.795, and they reported 81.797. So they did barely beat. They surprised by $2 million, which is really nothing for them. So you would venture to guess, okay, well, that's good. We got a green E right here, right? And you can see, green E shot up here. Green E didn't help them there. Red E earnings helped them there. Green earnings really helped. So what would this one be? Well, let's go down to the 4 hour, and you will see it's not looking pretty. It is what I believe is profit taking. Is everyone playing the hype leading up to earnings and are now selling out, especially the big guys. And I do expect this to continue down for a little bit. Obviously, I could be wrong. And obviously, just because it comes down a little bit doesn't mean that this overall cannot continue. However, if you just look at this tear, I mean, you can say the low on this current trend right here, it began in January of 2023. So this uptrend has been going on for 7 months. And it is due for a breather. Obviously, the market can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants, for whatever reason or no reason at all. But at the same time, patterns are patterns. Human psychology is human psychology, and people are going to take profits. People are, I guess, going to be scared on a flat and not really hugely beating expectations. And I do believe that there is a very good chance that this is the beginning of another leg down. Now, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again in the future. But what we are going to prepare for is the next leg down, because I don't know about you, but I am not getting into this at this point as far as a long position. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this, and what we would like to see is, let's just bring up a drawing here real quick. We would like to see, oh, you know what? Let's start with this yellow guy right here, because we have yellow up already. So something like that. Now let's change it to blue. Okay, that changed it to, let's do that. There we go. Now we'll bring it up again, change it to blue, and we want to see something like that cross. Now, it could do all sorts of different ways in which it's going to do it, but eventually they would cross once again, and on that cross, once again, is when you would want to enter a position if you were to go long. It's just, as far as this right here, this has been so overbought for so long, and there's divergence. I'm not getting into it at this point. I'm going to wait for at least a breather. Who knows, maybe the technicals will show that it is a good idea to short. But, you know, let's zoom out to the weekly on Apple. Is this something you want to really short? No, probably not. What is going on with this drawing here? Cross, there we go. What you probably want to do is wait for a good entry signal. I don't know. I would not like to really short Apple. I would just like to wait for a good entry to get into it. There are plenty of other stocks that could short. With that said, I mean, look at this MACD. I'm not completely against shorting Apple, but if the technicals are there, maybe. So that's all I have for you. As I said in the beginning of this video, the best thing you can do to help out the channel is hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, but at the very least, just hit that like button. And but yeah, subscribe and give me a shot. Until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you.